Good evening and welcome to Rewind. It is Wednesday, February 9th. We want to get you caught up on the biggest stories of the day.
And we begin tonight with parking imposters. Fake parking attendants scamming drivers out of money by tricking them into getting hit by real parking tickets. Our Jamie Kennedy has the details.
And Governor Brian Kemp cracking down on gangs as he unveiled a new safety plan today. Our Haley Mason has the very latest from the Capitol. New at 6 and only on CBS 46. Parking imposters, fake attendants scamming drivers out of their money.
And the trickery trapping victims into getting hit by real parking tickets. A woman we talked to says it's happened to her outside Escobar Restaurant and Tapas in downtown Atlanta, but she may not be the only victim.
CBS 46's Jamie Kennedy live tonight. And Jamie, you've learned it's nearly impossible to tell fake parking attendants from the real ones.
Yeah, exactly, Sean. So who's to say someone like me isn't working for one of the companies around here, helping people to park, charging them $20, $40? Well, one woman I spoke to say she paid a person like me before she went into a restaurant, and when she came out, she's now going to have to pay for more. Running late for a restaurant reservation is something most of us have been guilty of. For Lacey, her attempts to make a reservation on time by finding a close parking space thanks to a friendly parking attendant cost her a lot more than she bargained for.
They had on the reflective vest. They were stopping cars and telling them it was $20 to park if they wanted to park up front, or if they wanted to do valet, it was $40 to park.
But after a nice time inside Escobar with her friends visiting from out of town, she found something on her car.
Come out and find this parking ticket.
She wasn't the only one.
Several cars in front of mine had the same ticket.
They had also paid the same so-called parking attendants in high-vis jackets $20 to park.
It's a $25 ticket, so it's not going to break me to pay it, but it's the principle and the fact that I paid $20 to park and gave it to a complete stranger, and now I'm paying $25, and that's $45 to park, when I could have just parked somewhere else.
I spoke to employees at Escobar who say they have seen the men working the street before, but they have no affiliation with them. Other business owners along the strip also told me the guys in their high-vis vests and jackets are regularly out on the street getting people to pay them for parking. The street has numerous no parking signs, but Lacey says she thought because permits are issued sometimes for parking when spots get busy and events are on, that's why the guys in the high-vis jackets were there.
It looks legit. It seems legit, so I went with it. And, my main thing is that I want people to be aware that this happens.
Now, Lacey tells me that she is going to contest the ticket to see if she can't get a little bit of help with it. Now, as far as the experts in terms of what you can do, if you see someone like me and you're not sure if they're a real parking attendant or not, always look at the street signs and always pay at a parking meter if you can, because then you know it is a real situation. Live in Atlanta, Jamie Kennedy, CBS 46 News.
New tonight at the state capitol, lawmakers are taking up a bill that would ban abortion pills by mail and on every school campus. The legislation challenges a recent FDA decision allowing abortion medication to be shipped to women. Supporters argue the new bill is actually meant to protect women. Medication abortions are growing in popularity. In 2018, they accounted for 54% of all abortion before 9 weeks of pregnancy. State Capitol reporter Haley Mason is live tonight after listening to the debate. Haley.
Rick, this bill to ban abortion pills by mail actually moved one step forward at the state capitol today, but some physicians say that the science is simply inaccurate and the information is misleading. They say this bill needs a lot of work.
It clearly defines abortion. And what abortion does not include.
In a packed meeting room, supporters and opponents alike came to voice their concerns about a new Senate bill that would ban mail-order abortion pills. The matter is being backed by the conservative group, the Georgia Life Alliance, and sponsored by State Senator Bruce Thompson.
The physician providing or prescribing the abortion-inducing drug has to be the physician who sees the patient in person.
Senator Michelle Au was a practicing physician and one of 5 Democrats to vote against the measure today.
I would be pleased if I could sit down with him and work through some of these, frankly, inaccurate pieces of information that are in this bill.
The bill would ban abortion pills from being delivered to women in Georgia and also block the mail-ordered prescriptions from going to state colleges and facilities, like women in their college dorms.
This will discourage them from accessing the health care that they need and will be just one of many barriers Georgians face while accessing reproductive care. As a disabled person, access to telehealth is the deciding factor for me.
Those against the bill say that women know how to consult with a physician, and this is a way for safe abortion to take place.
Medical societies, the FDA, physicians have best practices that we adhere to, and it's not an appropriate use of legislation to write these things into law to supersede the best practices that we already abide by.
Senator Thompson says this is an effort to protect women from performing abortions outside the direct in-person care of their physician.
And make sure that a physician who prescribes these drugs meets all of the requirements on the provider agreement.
The bill passed out of committee 7-5.
We want to avoid continuing to provide complications, especially from a drug like this.
I also met with the president of Planned Parenthood Southeast, who says that this bill is really unnecessary given the current law that would ban 15-week abortions, and also considering their Supreme Court cases still in the Supreme Court that are still yet to decide the fate of Roe versus Wade. If those move forward and up in Roe v. Wade, then this bill would be a moot point. Reporting live outside the Capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
New at 6, a second shot at freedom. Inmates and shelter animals paired together in a life-changing local rehab program. CBS 46's Crystal Bowie spoke to participants looking for life beyond the bars.
Oh man, I'm in love.
Everyone gets a second chance.
Her life has been pretty dismal so far.
These men are hoping to rehabilitate these abandoned dogs. The dogs meant to rehabilitate the men too.
We're gonna work together. I can relate to these dogs. You're gonna help me out? You know, I know what it's like to feel like no one's gonna help you, no one's gonna be there for you. You just feel like you're lost, you're stuck, alone, and I was put in despair. Easy.
This is Beyond the Bars, an out-of-custody program for Fulton County offenders charged with committing crimes.
I ended up in jail with aggravated assault. I'm a recovering drug addict. I mean, I've been clean for 8 years and 9 months.
Jason Weiss has been praying to be a part of this program after being locked up for 7 months.
This might be a good chance for me to interact with some animal that might need rescuing, because I feel like I need rescuing myself.
How you doing? He's a truck driver, and instead of being locked up in Fulton County Jail, he now lives with relatives in McDonough.
What was said to me was, every dog is not a bad dog. You know, just like every man is not a bad man. It's the way, the environment.
So if you want to walk him up to Franklin.
Back at K9 Cellmates, it's a new start.
I'm passionate because I believe in the magical healing power of dogs. I believe in humans' capacity to change.
He's very mild-mannered.
No, I wouldn't call him mild-mannered.
Program Executive Director Susan Jacobs Meadows is a firm believer this will break the cycle of crime.
We work closely with the District Attorney's Office. They have to approve everybody who comes to us.
The first phase is 90 days and requires the participants to report to the K9 Cellmates headquarters for 4 half-days a week. The second phase is 9 months. At the end of the year, participants will have their charges dismissed if they've successfully completed the program.
It was a miracle for me.
To start over so that they don't end up behind bars again.
I have a new interest in the direction of my life.
Local animal shelters donate stray or surrendered dogs to the program. The dogs must pass an obedience test before they're allowed to go to their forever home. After that, it's open for adoption by the public. Reporting, Crystal Bowie, CBS 46 News.
The Atlanta mayor is debunking a rapper's claims that Atlanta's water is tainted. Cardi B recently posted a video on Instagram saying her skin was irritated after visiting Atlanta.
I believe that there's something wrong with the water in Atlanta, because while I was in Atlanta, my face just started getting so dry and irritated.
The facts are Atlanta water is tested, and it's a great source of water because it's so fresh and clean, and it's also been tested 50,000 times each year.
We checked Atlanta watershed treats nearly 100 million gallons of water per day. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens visited CBS 46 today.
He stopped by to talk about the Cardi B water. Of course, we asked him about that while he was here. But he wanted to talk about progress on his priorities in his first month on the job. CBS 46's Karen Greer sat down with Mayor Dickens.
The first 100 days of my administration will be laser focused on reducing crime with a particular emphasis on balancing our safety and justice.
It's been just over 30 days since Atlanta's 61st Mayor Andre Dickens took the oath of office. With crime, affordable housing, Buckhead cityhood, just some of the issues he planned to tackle in his first 100 days.
Over the last 5 days, we have not had a murder in the city. Now that's something not to necessarily applaud, but to also try to keep that going for the rest of the year. We want 365 days of no murders, right?
As people are being forced from homeless encampments near the state capitol by Fulton County sheriffs and Capitol Police.
Everybody's still sleeping out here, as you see. And hey, we need help.
Mayor Dickens says his office has been working to find them some temporary housing.
The ones that were outside of the Capitol, it was about 30 of them. We've already have hotel rooms for some, and then we have other shelters and places that can help those that are experiencing severe mental illness.
Gang violence has become problematic in Atlanta.
We have to get these gangs under control.
The latest incident this week when 11-year APD veteran officer David Rogers was shot 6 times by a suspected gang member.
I had to hold his hand as he was in the emergency room, as he had 6 bullets that came from, he was just serving a warrant on an individual that had a rap sheet that was pretty lengthy for armed robbery. And so we're trying to get him off the street.
And before he left our studios,
this was a murder like none other.
I asked the mayor about the latest on the investigation into the murder of Katie Janess and her dog Bowie.
The case is not cold. It is still ongoing. It has not stalled. They get new pieces of information on an ongoing basis, and they feel confident that they will bring this to justice.
Karen Greer, CBS 46 News.
But first at 5, a development tonight cracking down on gangs. Governor Brian Kemp unveiling a new safety plan today.
The governor's office says 60% of all violent crimes across the state are gang related. A 2018 study by the Georgia Gang Investigators Association estimated the state had 71,000 gang members and 1,500 active gangs.
And police say one of them shot an APD officer several times just 2 days ago. That officer is still recovering in the hospital tonight.
CBS 46's Haley Mason is live at the Capitol tonight. And Haley, the governor's office saying gangs are all about making money.
All about making money and selling a number of things that put people at quite a disadvantage and have left many people dead, Tracy. Governor Kemp, though, this afternoon saying that he's trying to ramp up the crime suppression unit and crack down on gangs across the state. But he says there's more work to do, although they've made more than 20 arrests in the last several months.
I mean, we're literally battling this every day all across state.
Governor Brian Kemp today saying gang violence is a growing and serious problem in Georgia.
Recently, we've added a validated gang member to our risk assessment.
Joining the state attorney general and director of the GBI at the anti-gang network meeting, Kemp and state law enforcement leaders look to ramp up enforcement of gang crackdowns in Georgia.
They are shoot first, ask questions later. We got to go after these people. Boots on the ground are making a difference.
Carr says in the meeting that gang crimes are happening in counties all over the state.
Gangs, it's all about making money right now. Selling guns, drugs, human beings.
Just this week, Atlanta police officer David Rogers was shot 6 times by known gang member Christian Eppinger while trying to make an arrest. Kemp weighed in on that.
It's outrageous. You know, our men and women are literally on the front lines every single day getting shot at. They're chasing very bad people. This has gone on too long in the city of Atlanta. Thankfully, now we have a lot of people that are working on this issue.
Attorney General Carr this week proposing legislation to allow his office to investigate and prosecute gang-related crimes in counties across the state. This as they see gang activity growing across jurisdictions.
It's not about us going prosecuting a case and the DA. No, it's one or the other. It just gives us the authority as well.
Earlier, we spoke with State Senator Jen Jordan, who's running to unseat Attorney General Carr. She wrote an op-ed criticizing Carr for not bringing in special conflict prosecutors to handle gang cases after local judges have removed themselves.
So we have 170 cases across the state where the Attorney General has failed to act. It feels like it's more political, performative rhetoric than actually just doing the job that you were elected to do.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Carr stating statistics from the FBI says that homicides are up 30% and more than 60% of all crimes in Georgia are gang related. We'll have more of this story on our CBS 46 News website and app. Reporting live outside the Capitol, Haley Mason, CBS 46 News.
Thanks, Haley. Tomorrow marks 1 year to the day that a family lost a 12-year-old boy. And now, a year later, David Mack's family still pleading for answers. CBS 46's Zach Summers joins us live now. And Zach, that family speaking out again today.
Yeah, Rick, David Mack was just 10 days shy of turning 13 when his life was cut short. His family, making that gruesome discovery just beyond that tree line you see behind me. However, a year later, there are still no answers as to who murdered the young boy. There's not a day that goes by Wanda Mack doesn't think about her grandson, David.
It's a hard feeling because I thought he was coming back home.
12-year-old David Mack disappeared a year ago today. He was last seen on Ring video outside his grandmother's home on Beecher Road in southwest Atlanta. The 7th grader told his grandmother he was going to play with a friend, but never made it.
Right there where that clear cement area is.
David's family found his lifeless body in a wooded area off Shirley Drive, not too far from his home. He had been shot several times.
There is no amount of therapy that can heal us, that can remove the trauma that we face finding his body and in the manner in which he was killed.
David's aunt, Ayanna Riley, is frustrated with the apparent lack of information in the case. She says they've received little to no updates from Atlanta police about the investigation.
We know nothing about forensics being done on his phone. We know nothing about them pulling camera footages. So in our minds, Atlanta PD has done absolutely nothing.
The family pleading for someone to come forward so they can find some peace.
I know what it means to be scared. Sometimes you just have to walk out on faith and know that you're doing the right thing.
Now, Atlanta police sent CBS 46 a statement saying that their investigators are committed to solving this case, reminding the public that there remains a cash reward for information leading to an arrest. And if you do have information, you can call APD or Crime Stoppers. That number 404-577-TIPS. Live in Southwest Atlanta, Zach Summers, CBS 46 News.
Thanks for watching CBS 46 News. Watch us live wherever you are, our mobile and our streaming news app. You can also watch us on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV.